All right, let's just get into it because everybody, I think, who is I think consuming any football content today is either suffering and needing some sort of support, or they are like, I want to watch them suffer more. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what I've been doing. I'm not a Manchester United fan, and watching this result, and which is obviously the worst result that Manchester United have ever had in Premier League history. You're trying to sort of make sense of it, so you look to like the professional, the pundits who know everything. I want to see Gary Neville, and I want to see what, like, answer for them. You weren't on the pitch, but make sense of what just happened. How have you tried to make sense of this result?
I am relishing this absolute just meltdown of the fan base, despite the fact that I hold way too many, I thought about it this morning, way too many United fans near and dear.
Okay.
But I still am laughing at their pain right now.
You gotta.
It's a good time. Listen, I have suffered, okay? Like Arsenal, we have developed probably a number of pain kinks. And also an array of coping mechanisms, but mostly we just make really funny jokes.
Got it.
Those were our character building years. Now I can like...
Yeah, you're basically saying this is how Manchester United starts their like kink arc. This is how they get into...
Listen, you're going to lean into it. Eventually you're going to be like, hurt me, please.
Sign me up. What? Is there the dominatrix?
Going to be like, what is happening in this dressing room?
Is there a dominatrix in the area? People are building red rooms in their homes.
Kick me in the shin. But yeah, so I think that absolutely like top-notch memeing yesterday.
Right. Yeah.
I adore that. I adore when it's not my fan base that has to suffer for the sake of humor.
Sure, I mean, look, I don't want to pat ourselves on the back, but Alexis had...
like Mo Salah, and everybody's like, this man is actually just a model who occasionally plays soccer, just running around abs out, which respect. Like, I'm trying to get like that by May.
I mean, look, this is... there's other conversation I want to have that I'll bring up in a moment, but I have on screen Mo Salah on the cover of Madden, obviously, because they put up 7. Like, you're happy they made the field goal. It's 6-0 is not the same as 7-0.
But like that many goals conceded in a single half.
I know, right?
Is like, and I know Roy Keane called it a circus, and he's bang on about it being a circus because absolute clown shoes performance. I don't know how you actually have that happen. Even playing it back and watching the clips, you're like, wow, how did you? This is like, you had to strive for that. Like, maybe we should check them for like match fixing because it's almost too wild.
It was look, like if on a practical level, when you're trying to make sense of like how they played, how they lined up from a tactical, like after probably the second goal, maybe the third goal, it's all out the window, right? And like what's hilarious, especially, is after they gave up the goal at the end of the first half. Gakpo scores.
And they were still like laughing about it. It was a haha, jokey.
Bruno had a great chance. They definitely, some people were saying like, United were the better in the first half. And like, it sounds even more ridiculous. It doesn't even matter what happened in the first half after the result that you have or whatever. But what was the point I was going to make? It was like, they keep using the word like capitulation and all this other stuff. And it's not even a game of football anymore, right? It is really just like, can you psychologically finish the workday? Can you just make it to 5 p.m.?
The answer for United was absolutely not. They crawled under their desk at 3 p.m. and said, I'm going to take a little George Costanza nap. Like, we can't do this anymore.
And so this is what I was remembering. At the end of the first half, on the NBC sports broadcast, they had, I think it was Rebecca Lowe that made this point about how Erik ten Hag he's like a tactician, and he's great at making changes for second halves. Like that was the specific. It was like, let's cut back to the game. Erik ten Hag is great at second halves, and then that is the second half that they have.
Our friend Eric here excels at second halves, and then all of a sudden it's like 6 goals.
I just feel terrible for everyone involved in that.
I would not leave my home for at least 6 years, like 1 year per goal. I would be so deeply embarrassed.
Okay.
Which, I mean, probably says more about me than like Ten Hag, because he's, got to immediately go out and do press. But I would probably be quietly sobbing. Like, you just hear me whimper.
Hilarious. Poorly drawn Arsenal, who you're poorly drawn Arsenal. You're gonna be on this show in just a little bit. One of your drawings.
I adore poorly drawn Arsenal.
Poorly drawn Arsenal said it was the perfect weekend, right? But just surreal. And so if there's any, I mean, some of the things that I think a lot of people are highlighting about the performance of Manchester United, obviously. Lisandro Martinez getting just touching the earth. So Mo Salah made him touch the ground. It's gonna be a meme essentially forever of him defending, looking backward, just not even looking at Mo Salah. It's just not a great look. I feel bad for him, especially the for all the short kings. He's out there. He has to look good because there's a lot of pressure on him. So that wasn't great, but. The performance from Bruno Fernandes, and I'm not even talking about like touches or shots or anything. It's just literally like body language. And he was a captain yesterday, and I think he's been the person people have been highlighting of just like, the diving. He got touched on the shoulder. He's like holding his face and all this other stuff. And when you lose 7-0. You can't even act like that. You can't perform in that way.
I feel like it's hard to tell with United fans, though, because sometimes they are a little bit whiny about certain players or nitpicky. But yeah, that was a very, like, we don't talk about Bruno performance. Like, I don't blame them. It's a very, like, Marge Simpson, like, ooh.
Right. Do you think it's one of those, like, the game was just so bad? Like, if they lose 3-0, you're like, okay, we put in a shift, but we didn't get the result we wanted. But losing this badly, is this a game that is like, all right, well, we don't even have to keep it in our memory because it was just such a aberration?
The good news is I think it was just a blip. It was an anomaly. We're probably not going to see this again out of this United side. At least they should have the appropriate level of PTSD from that match, particularly that they'll never, ever repeat any of those errors.
Right.
But, I mean, real talk, as a player, it's not easy, especially when and where those goals come from, to stay in the game mentally and not be entirely demoralized. Like, yes, that's part of your job, but that's a much bigger ask than people sometimes assume, to stay locked in psychologically and not say like, oh, forget it. Like it's useless, especially after 6 goals in a single half.
The Marcus Rashford, there were a couple tweets from players, which I was kind of surprised. I thought they would all just,
no. Like, there's no way. Okay. Like, I envisioned them all popping up the notes app, getting ready to draft and be like, okay, eyes on 1, publicist. 2, my manager. My mother is on the 3rd line of defense. We have to make sure that everybody's had eyes on this semi-apology.
Right.
It's hard, right? Like, you're a public figure. You're going to get criticized no matter what, but you're especially dealing with some really, what is there? On the other hand, what is there to be said?
Right. This is, look, Marcus Rashford, his tweet yesterday, he goes, I wish we could play a game today to try and put things right. The result is the result, and we can't see past that. We must not let it define our season. We have to trust the process and stick together. And I'm gonna
they just won a trophy.
Right.
This was a wild match. Like, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Sure.
I am not in any way, shape, or form trying to like boost up my United fan friends because why would I do that? But it's an anomaly. This isn't always, yes, I understand people are upset.
Yeah.
Yes, it's deeply embarrassing. I probably would be walking around as Rarkus Mashford for a week, but whatever.
So I think everything is fine here about this statement. And there's really, I'm not going to like hyper criticize, because there's nothing he could really say that everyone would be happy with. It was just such a ridiculous result. It is what it is. But the line that I thought was very strange was really the first one. I wish we could play a game today to try and put things right. Bro.
Yeah, that's not going to rectify that. Like, this is just a wash.
You need the rest and recovery. We need to take the time to accept that sometimes we need to just heal. that we need to take the time to heal.
Yes,
And we need,
everybody just needs a bubble bath,
Right.
maybe a cucumber eye mask. Just try
You
to
don't-
wash it away, some soft jazz.
you can't be like, oh, she broke up with me. I'm gonna just date. I'm gonna get into a serious relationship tomorrow. You know, you can't do that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Christina's like, I would never do such a
I
thing.
would never do such a thing. Love you, mean it.
Joe Whitlock just put in quotes a quote unquote trophy.
He's got to be a United fan. He's upset. Oh, baby, it's just a trophy.
No, I mean, look, the Carabao Cup is the Carabao Cup. We were talking about it last week. It was, you know, some people were suggesting that they were celebrating a little too
Right,
much.
but okay. So here's the thing. I get so annoyed because this always ends up being a dialogue in sports, across sports, okay? Is this notion of you shouldn't celebrate your wins and that you over celebrated, and somehow now this has shifted you psychologically so much that you don't think that you need to exert any effort whatsoever. Like,
Right.
that's just not the way athletes are built. Like, yes, you might yes, they were seen kind of joking around after the first goal from Liverpool. But again, it's a goal. It's not life altering. Now, what came thereafter, that's a whole other story. But it's celebrate your wins, right? I don't care if it's a big win, a small win,
Could
a
be
win.
an employee
a
of
win
the
is
month,
a win.
an employee of the
okay?
month award.
Like,
It's all good.
Contextually, life is short. Experience all of the joy that you can, and then come what may, right? Like, you don't know that you're going to lose your next match as horrifically as you have, but you know what? Like, tuck and roll with it. That's life.
Right. And I think, look, that has to be the best way to handle it. I mean, look, as an NYCFC fan, I'm familiar with 7-0 losses. Okay, so you know, I've been here before.
The hardest scoreline to defend.
I've been here before. I know what it's like. But I loved going through. You know, there's a bunch of people that either have been on the show that we're friends with. A lot of Manchester United content creators, and I didn't have enough time to really like make a proper compilation, but I just wanted to get some of my favorites. This is, everybody knows Mark Goldbridge, except Christine, who when I mentioned her before, she doesn't know.
I'm so sorry to Mark. I will become familiar with you, friend.
Right, but he is a guy who yells on camera about how when Manchester United do poorly, and he's made a career of it. I think he knows it. It's all good. I mean, it provides tons and tons of entertainment. And somebody put together a compilation of I'll just play a couple of these of his reactions to some of these goals.
An absolute joke. Liverpool on the break. We're in a right mess. Well done, McTominay. And then he assists fucking Salah. 4-0.
So there's more where that came from, but then I wanted to play. This is one of my favorites. This is RNA Deck. Go follow him, especially on TikTok. He's great. He's a big Manchester United.
It's disgusting.
Goldbridge one is still
absolutely.
Oh, the Goldbridge.
disgusting.
Oh, apologies. So the
This was the remix.
this was. So this is RNA Deck. I want to play this one. He's great on TikTok. Big Manchester United fan. But there's a comedian, Adam Rowe, based out in Liverpool, and he had tweeted this, and it just says, "This fella's reaction to Gakpo's second goal is now my favorite thing about yesterday's game." And here's his reaction.
Oh no, Dinky Winky!
Dinky Winkies, Cody Gakpo is one of my fave sentences ever. What a great moment.
Dinky Winky. I couldn't.
It was a great goal, though. This was the one where he sat down, Lisandro Martinez, and made the pass.
I think the camera placed at the back of that goal actually caught that, like, in its grand scheme of things. It should be hung in a museum.
It was great. And then, so this is the other conversation I wanted to have about this game, because obviously Manchester United lose, right? 7-0 Liverpool. And you can tell goal after goal, they weren't taking their foot off the gas. They wanted,
As they shouldn't.
I mean, when Firmino scored that 7th goal, it was like Champions League final, whatever. It was a big deal. So I just want to, it's just ironic because, again, I remember during the 2019 Women's World Cup, the U.S., when they were playing against Thailand, right? and the final result ended up being like 11-0. Everyone was so after the fourth or fifth goal. Why are they celebrating? Blah blah blah. And Mohamed Salah took off his shirt at the sixth goal in a game that obviously was not even competitive. So it's just one of those moments. I just hope somebody is self-aware enough, the people who are tweeting this nonsense, that they're aware of their hypocrisy.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
Exactly, dog. Crazy.
It
love
felt to me almost like Liverpool was like angry though when they kept scoring. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, we're having a terrible season." They wanted to really take it out on the rest of the United team.
Wouldn't you want to beat up 100%. A bit on the third place team? Come on. 100%. I mean, Liverpool have had some phenomenal seasons. This hasn't been one, but. Heck yeah, like unload. Let's go.
Joe Whitlock in the chat just said Eric Sevenhog, which is great. All right. got a new name. Lousy Val, thank you for the correction. They won 13-0. So yeah, I mean, look, I hope that, because that honestly, after the fourth and fifth goal, I was about to tweet, why are they still celebrating like this?
How dare you?
I was hoping people, will start giving me that energy.
Listen, when I'm up 10-0 in Sunday League, I'm still celebrating, and that really goes to nothing other than me demoralizing perfect strangers.
Sure, yeah. I mean, but in that case, you're like celebrating against like accountants or whatever.
Listen, a win is a win.
So what Joe Willock just said, that was because he broke Fowler's scoring record for Liverpool. So what? I did it. So, I mean, I do want to give Mohamed Salah his flowers. I'm comfortable simply saying Mohamed Salah is the greatest Liverpool player to ever wear the shirt. I mean, how much more evidence do you need?
We need to get all the Liverpool supporters in the chat.
And I'm an Everton fan saying that. I mean, like, the dude has been
So you have poor taste and you're lauding Liverpool and Salah. No,
okay, this is not why I invited you to the show, Christine.
I'll go. I'm going to take your ball, though.
So yeah, it's a silly. Look, as far as with Mohamed Salah, look, I think he's incredible, and I think Alexis makes this point all the time, like. They shouldn't have brought him back. They shouldn't have paid him so much money because he's not gonna, do the same. And it's like, bro, what else can he do? He's literally just scoring tons and tons of goals. He didn't have the greatest start to the season, but neither did Liverpool. But he's been remarkable.
Yeah, I have no qualms with them keeping Mo Salah on. I would find out really what player do you bring in that is a 1-to-1 or